If you are holding physical silver right now, I need you to stop whatever you are doing and pay very close attention to this video. The mainstream financial media is desperately trying to keep your eyes focused on the stock market reaching all-time highs, the fluctuating interest rates, and the endless daily political theater. They want you distracted. But deep inside the obscure, highly complex institutional data, a massive red warning light is flashing. There is a specific macroeconomic signal that has just triggered in the silver market, and it proves that the bullion banks have officially lost control. Do not click away, because today we are revealing the exact data point that proves the greatest short squeeze in modern financial history is mathematically imminent. Hello everyone, I am John A.G., and welcome back to the Wealth Reactor. If you want to see through the financial illusions created by Wall Street and protect your wealth with hard, tangible assets, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you never miss an urgent market alert. Let us dive directly into the signal. Let us start with Part 1, the paper illusion and the bullion bank cartel. To truly understand the magnitude of the signal we are about to reveal, you first have to understand exactly how the price of silver is actually determined in the modern world. The spot price you see scrolling across your television screen on Bloomberg or CNBC is not the real price of physical silver. It is the price of paper silver derivatives. For decades, a highly concentrated group of massive global bullion banks has artificially suppressed the price of silver. They do this by flooding the commodities exchanges, like the COMEX in New York and the LBMA in London, with millions of naked short contracts. A short contract is simply a financial bet that the price of an asset will go down. But here is the critical, systemic deception. These massive banks do not actually possess the physical silver they are selling short. They are creating an infinite artificial supply of paper silver out of thin air to crush the price momentum, trigger stop losses, and shake weak retail investors out of the market. Historically, this manipulation tactic worked flawlessly. Whenever silver started to break out and gain serious momentum, the bullion banks would dump billions of dollars of paper short contracts onto the market in the middle of the night, when trading volume was low, causing a sudden flash crash. They operated with absolute impunity for a very long time. In fact, it was not until recent years that the United States Department of Justice finally stepped in, handing out hundreds of millions of dollars in fines and even prison sentences to top traders at major Wall Street institutions for illegally spoofing the precious metals markets. But despite those fines, the broader systemic manipulation continued because the entire system relied on one fundamental assumption, that almost 0% of the paper buyers would ever demand delivery of the actual physical metal. It was a giant game of musical chairs where the banks controlled the music. But that assumption has just been completely shattered. This brings us to Part 2, the signal, the paper-to-physical death cross. Every single week, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission releases a highly complex document called the Commitments of Traders Report. Most retail investors have absolutely no idea how to read it, but the institutional smart money watches it like a hawk. Right now, the Commitments of Traders Report is showing something absolutely terrifying for the bullion banks. The commercial category, which is comprised of just 4 to 8 massive financial institutions, holds a historic, highly concentrated short position in paper silver. They are currently betting billions upon billions of dollars that the price of silver will drop. But here is where the fatal signal flashes. We have to compare their massive paper short position to the amount of actual, deliverable physical silver currently sitting in the COMEX vaults. On the COMEX exchange, physical silver is divided into 2 distinct categories, eligible and registered. Eligible silver is just sitting in the vault. It is owned by high net worth individuals, family offices, or private institutions who are simply using the COMEX as a highly secure storage unit. It is not for sale at the current spot price, and it cannot be used to settle a futures contract. Registered silver, on the other hand, is the only metal that has a warrant attached to it, meaning it is actively available to settle contracts and be delivered to buyers. Right now, the registered physical silver inventory has been absolutely decimated. The signal flashing red on the dashboard is the leverage ratio between the paper shorts and the registered inventory. We have reached a critical tipping point where there are potentially hundreds of paper claims for every one single ounce of registered physical silver available for delivery. Imagine a stadium with 300 people holding tickets, but there is only one physical seat inside. This is the paper-to-physical death cross. The mathematical foundation of the exchange has completely broken down. The paper leverage has expanded to historic extremes, exactly at the precise moment that the physical vaults have run completely dry. Now we must look at part 3, the bullion bank trap and the industrial black hole. You might be asking yourself, if the bullion banks know they are exposed, why do they not just quietly cover their short positions and walk away? Why are they letting this crisis build to a boiling point? The answer is shockingly simple, and it connects directly to the supply chain crisis we have been tracking all week on this channel. They cannot cover their shorts because they literally cannot source the physical metal to replace the paper they sold. The global silver market has been running a severe structural deficit for 4 consecutive years. Last year alone, the global deficit was hundreds of millions of ounces. We are mining far less silver than the world requires to function. The industrial sectors are completely out of control. The massive solar panel gigafactories are transitioning to new, high-efficiency N-type solar cells, which require significantly more highly conductive silver paste than older models. The artificial intelligence data centers are devouring every single ounce they can find for advanced microchips and thermal cooling systems. And we cannot forget the military-industrial complex. A defense contractor building a $2 million cruise missile or a government launching an advanced radar satellite does not care if the price of silver is $30 an ounce or $300 an ounce. They must use silver because nothing else on the periodic table conducts electricity and resists heat corrosion with the same efficiency. Their demand is completely price inelastic. Furthermore, as we documented in our previous alerts, global refineries are currently paralyzed by skyrocketing lease rates and severe chemical shortages. They are rejecting secondary scrap silver because they cannot afford the hedging costs to melt it down. So, the bullion banks are trapped in an absolute nightmare scenario. They need millions of ounces of high-purity, investment-grade silver bars to cover their underwater short contracts, but the Eastern nations are hoarding it, the industrial complex is consuming it, the military is securing it, and the refineries are not producing enough new bars to bail them out. The bullion bank cartel is backed into a mathematical corner, and there is absolutely no escape hatch. Which brings us to part 4, the elasticity snap and the upcoming squeeze. What happens when an unstoppable force meets a mathematically bankrupt object? We are about to witness a historic elasticity snap. For years, the paper market acted like a massive rubber band, stretching further and further away from the physical reality of supply and demand. The bullion banks stretched that rubber band as far as it could possibly go to keep the price suppressed and maintain the illusion of a strong fiat dollar. But physical reality always wins in the end. When that rubber band finally snaps back, the violent repricing of silver will shock the entire global financial system. If you want to know exactly what this looks like, just look back at the London Metal Exchange nickel crisis a couple of years ago. A massive short position was caught off guard by a sudden physical squeeze. The price of nickel went so incredibly high, so violently fast, that the exchange literally had to shut down trading and cancel billions of dollars in winning trades, just to protect the billionaires and banks from going completely bankrupt. When a handful of large industrial buyers or sovereign nations stand up and demand physical delivery on the COMEX, the banks will be forced into a sheer panic. To avoid a catastrophic default on the exchange, these banks will have to buy back their short positions at any price necessary. This creates a feedback loop known as a short squeeze. As they scramble to buy paper contracts to close their positions, the price rockets upward, which triggers more panic buying, which forces the price even higher. We are not talking about a slow, steady, incremental climb. We are talking about violent double-digit percentage daily moves, where silver completely disconnects from the broader financial markets and discovers its true unmanipulated value. So, what is the final verdict, and what must you do if you are holding silver today? First and foremost, you must understand the psychological warfare that is coming your way. As this pressure builds, the institutions will attempt to create violent fake-outs. They will engineer sharp, sudden price drops to trigger your stop losses and scare you into selling your physical metal back to them on the cheap. Do not fall for it. The volatility is specifically designed to separate you from your real wealth. Second, this brings up a critical warning about exchange-traded funds and unallocated storage accounts. If you hold a paper receipt for your silver, you do not actually own silver. You own a promise from the exact same banking system that is currently trapped in the short squeeze. In a true liquidity crisis, unallocated accounts will be settled in cash, forcing you to accept worthless fiat currency while the price of the physical metal skyrockets out of your reach. If you hold pure, physical, investment-grade silver in your own personal possession, you hold the absolute ultimate leverage. You hold the exact physical asset that the massive, multi-billion-dollar banks desperately need to survive the coming margin calls, but absolutely cannot find. You are sitting on the winning side of the greatest financial miscalculation in modern history. Do not trade your physical metal for their failing fiat currency just because the spot price jumps a few dollars and it feels like a nice profit. Recognize the signal. The paper illusion is dying, and the era of true physical price discovery is about to begin. Audit your portfolio today. Secure your physical sovereign bullion, get it out of the banking system, and prepare for the snapback. Thank you so much for watching this urgent macroeconomic breakdown. It is critical that we get this data out to as many people as possible before the institutions lock the vault doors for good. If you found this signal analysis valuable, please hit that subscribe button, smash the like button to defeat the algorithmic suppression, and turn on the bell icon so you are notified the second our next alert goes live. Let me know in the comment section below if you are holding your physical silver strong or if you are still looking to add more to your stack before the squeeze takes hold. Stay safe, trust the physical data, and I will see you in the next video right here on the Wealth Reactor.